This conference will now be recorded.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining. Sunil here. Please confirm. Can you hear me? Hi.
Good morning.
Morning, sir.
Thank you, Prashant. Thank you, Asif. Hi, Akil, Nafis, Deepti. Thank you, one and all. Good morning. Okay. Today we'll be discussing about what is master-slave configuration. What is the need? Why should we do master-slave configuration? Practical in the real time, definitely. You will get definitely in Jenkins one day or other you need to establish master-slave configuration. So how can we do that? We'll learn it. So how to establish a passwordless connection between the master machine and slave machine, that's also important. We learn how to create a new node in Jenkins and how to run the job in the node machine. So this is all these concepts will be very clear by the end of the session. Okay, perfect. So let's start Jenkins. We know Jenkins is installed in dev server. Done.
Sir, I have a query.
Yes.
Yesterday I had a class, okay, for the Jenkins from the other batch that I attend,
Okay.
and there the discussion
Did
was in fact,
he install Jenkins on Tomcat? Like or
uh,
does he directly installing Jenkins?
yeah, he directly installed Jenkins, and what he did was in fact all the DevOps things like in uh, spinning the server, making the high availability and everything available directly from Jenkins, in fact.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, I couldn't understand most of the terminologies that he used because he was actually running fast. So, I have a query like, do we have to follow Jenkins in and out to actually maintain all these aspects, or how is it exactly? So,
No, it's always good to get more knowledge on Jenkins in and out. Okay. So,
I mean, my concern is in fact being a DevOps. Let's suppose like I being a DevOps engineer, do I have
mhm.
to actually spin those environment through Jenkins or without Jenkins? I mean, because if I'm going through Jenkins, it's again a longer procedure. It's one more step that gets added.
See,
Rather, I
you
have
not
go to
you
three.
not be direct. You don't use in Jenkins. Okay,
Okay,
you can directly do it. Okay.
fine, sir. I'll do one thing. I'll share those videos with you. So just go through it if in case I'm still not able to understand this lecture yet.
How many sessions completed?
2 sessions completed, and today would be the
You are
third
in.
one.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
So,
Let's proceed. What about Kubernetes?
sir, Kubernetes also went in like 2 days session and couple of commands were shown. That's it. Nothing else. I'll share. I'll do one thing. In fact, I'll share the entire videos with you, so you can go through it and probably you'll get an idea like in what they have cleared and what
Okay.
what you can
Share it.
improvise and let us know. Okay.
Okay, let's log in.
Sure, sir.
Okay. understand a scenario. I have logged into Jenkins. As you all see, we have two jobs here, development job, test job, right? Visualize Jenkins dashboard where you have some 20 to 30 jobs. Yes. In the real time, yeah, Jenkins will have 30 jobs, 40 jobs. Developer will have access to Jenkins. As I told you in the last session, testing team will have access to Jenkins. DevOps team will have access to Jenkins. Everybody will, as per the requirements of the projects, multiple projects, multiple clients, as per the requirements, every user may definitely create a job, run the job as per the need. When there are more number of jobs parallelly running on the Jenkins, when there are more number of jobs parallelly running, so you are running one job, I am running some job, the complete load is taken by which machine? The RAM, CPU consumption, everything is done on which machine? Dev server. Am I right? Dev server responsibility is to provide the hardware to make sure that the jobs are running perfectly whenever they are invoked, isn't it? When there are more number of jobs because of their because of the limited hardware availability, suddenly Jenkins server may go down. Suddenly Jenkins server may go down. So how can we avoid it? Availability. This is also one concept of availability. Jenkins server should not go down. It should have high availability. At any point of time, it should never go down. If you never go down, then what you should know, you should reduce the load of the dev server. Reduce the load of the dev server. So for that purpose, what we do, we want to make sure that the Jenkins will never go down. For that purpose, what we do, we create a master slave configuration. We create a master slave configuration. In this term, master slave, the machine on which Jenkins is installed, that dev server is also called as master machine. So in this session, whenever I'm using a term called master machine, that means I'm referring to dev server. Whenever in my session, this session, whenever I am saying as master machine, that means I'm referring to dev server. Okay, so we need to establish master slave configuration. When you establish master slave configurations, what happens? The load on the dev server will reduce and Jenkins will not go down. Jenkins will not go down. So in this session, now you know what is the need for master slave configuration. And anyways, we'll see practically what are the steps involved to define master slave configuration in Jenkins. Clear? Clear about this concept of master slave configuration? Any questions? Any questions in understanding the need for master slave configuration? I repeat again, as there are when there are more number of jobs running on Jenkins, suddenly Jenkins server may go down because the dev server is having limited hardware resources, limited RAM, limited CPU. So avoid that. What we'll do to reduce the load, we create a slave machine, and then we restrict the job so that it runs on the slave machine. Yes, Nafis.
Is there any limit of jobs into the Jenkins?
No.
No limit.
No limit at all. You can have 1,000 jobs running on it. Practically, it will not be there, but there's no restriction at all.
Okay.
Hello.
Yes,
Hello. Yeah, Sunil. Instead of creating with this master slave, we can also increase the size of the machine, like
Yes.
using auto.
You're right. You're right. You can also increase the size of the. Size of the hardware. Increasing the size of EC2 machine. Increasing the EC2 machine, number of RAMs and number of CPU, is a solution provided by AWS point of view, isn't it?
Correct.
Then what is the solution provided from Jenkins tool point of view? Assuming a client is not running on AWS, client is having on-premises infrastructure.
Then, okay. This is also kind of auto scaling only. like
There is a
alternating.
Yeah, there is a solution from the Jenkins point of view,
Okay.
tool point. So whenever there is a solution from the tool itself point of view, then it's always better to depend on tool first rather than the infrastructure. Okay.
Okay, Sunil. Okay, clear.
Yes. Okay. So as we now know what is the need for master slave configuration, okay, we'll see the practicals of how to do that. Yes. The first step is what is a master machine? Machine on which Jenkins is installed is called as a master machine. So coming to our case, dev server is a master machine. Okay. So we need to create one more machine, slave machine. Slave machine is nothing but a new EC2 machine we need to create. It's a new EC2 machine we need to create. We need to create a slave machine. Step 1, create a slave machine. Connect to slave machine. We need to install Java in the slave machine also. The prerequisite is we need to install Java. So let's first proceed. Let's create a fourth machine called the slave machine. Launch instances. Keep a name, can be anything, right? So Akhil, waking up at morning 6 o'clock, is it becoming challenging for you?
Only at initial lesson.
Now it's okay.
Now it's okay now.
Sunil, one question.
Yes.
Why do you create new keepers all the time? Why don't you use the same one?
Yeah,
I think
I
we
can
can.
also use. Yeah, I can use the same one.
No,
There's no
is there
specific,
any specific reason? I just
no
wanted to
specific
know.
reason. No specific.
Okay.
In fact, using existing keeper is also more better. Let's wait for the machine to come into running state. See, I have filtered the machines using the keyword running. I have filtered the machine using the keyword running, so I can see only the running machines. If I remove the filter, I get other machines also. Right now, this is the new machine, I think, right? So I write it as slave. Again, if you want, I can filter it by using the word keyword running. Yes, the slave machine is now ready. I want to connect to slave machine. Many are depending on, I came to know, many are sending lots of messages to me. They're depending on recordings rather than live trading. but I recommend all the participants try to attend live training as if not possible, then depend on recordings. First preference, go for live training. Connected to slave machine. Update the APT repository in the slave machine. This is not recorded. So Prashant, Docker completed that course.
Yes, sir. Docker also one day, in fact, 2 day, in fact.
That's it.
That's it, sir. And probably after today, in fact, the course would be over as well.
Oh, it's almost end. Total number of days,
Yeah.
how many?
40 days he told, but the courses are like in 2 days for each of those tools.
Jenkins, how many days?
Jenkins 3 days, considering today's day.
GT show master slave configuration.
No, not yet. Even the pipelines is not covered. I'm pretty much skeptical about how is he going to cover it today.
Okay. Scripted pipeline.
Hmm.
How are you, Chanakya?
Yeah, Sunil, doing good. Hello.
How is your practice going on? DevOps.
Yeah, going good. But the thing is, when I'm trying to practice this Jenkins, after 5 to 10 minutes, it's going to error. The page I'm unable to log in. Again, when I give this Java-jar, then again I can use it. Actually, I thought to ask that now after the session. So, is there any settings or what?
There is
Sir,
no
can't
settings. Every
we?
5 minutes, the Jenkins is going down, huh? Chanakya, in your case?
Yeah, yes, yes. The
There's
Jenkins
no.
dashboard itself going. Yeah. So again, whenever I give like Java if jar again
Java
running the
hyphen
same
jar
command and
Jenkins again. Okay.
Sir, can't we add that service directly into the startup script? The
Which one? Yeah,
similar
I
that
can
we
do
have
that. I'll show you. Automatically, Jenkins will start. I'll show you how to configure it in using Ansible. I'll show you.
Okay.
Chanakya, I know you are from you run a networking firm, right?
yeah.
So do you know how to set up firewall in a network?
No, I'm just I mean in security group or
No, not related Jenkins. Okay.
okay.
Do you also in your business do you provide a firewall
No,
configuration
no,
to
no.
any
I didn't
customers?
know now. I don't have
No,
any idea actually. No,
it's your own company, I think so, right, Chanakya?
no, just a startup.
Hmm?
I just joined, but
Okay,
yeah.
fine.
But the thing is, there is no proper things yet. No, there is no project yet. So I'm thinking to shift actually. After this, all these trainings,
Your
I'm
your
thinking
so
to
your
shift.
job is risky. You feel your job is not secure.
Yeah, yeah. Yes, exactly.
Okay, let's proceed. So I have created slave machine. Hmm? Hmm. Remember, slave machine should have Java installed. That's a prerequisite. Okay. Next, what we need to do? We should establish, this is very important, most important. Establish passwordless connection between dev server and slave machine. They should, we should establish passwordless communication between dev server and slave machine. That means dev server can talk to slave machine at any time without password. So such a way you should establish connection between the dev server and slave machine. So how to establish? Important interview point of view. Did you anytime establish passwordless connection between the machines? If yes, how did you do that? So now I'm showing you how can I establish, what are the steps to be followed to establish passwordless connection between the dev server and the slave machine. Connect to slave machine. Follow the steps. So connect to slave machine. So this is the slave machine. Yes. Who am I is the command to know the current user using which I have connected. Obviously, I have connected with which user? Ubuntu. Ubuntu is the default user comes with this EC2 machine. What's the password for this user? What is the password with this user? We don't know it, isn't it? Because we have not created the user. It's a default user. But if you want, you can set the password for this user. For Ubuntu user, the password also I want to set it as Ubuntu. Username Ubuntu, password also Ubuntu. How to set the password for a specific user in Linux? If you want to set the password, we have a command sudo password. Mention the username you want to set the password. I want to set the password for Ubuntu user. This command will help you to set the password for the Ubuntu user. What is the password for the Ubuntu user? Ubuntu only. In the slave machine, we have an Ubuntu user, and you know the password for the Ubuntu user is Ubuntu only. Next, go to SSH directory. There's a file called sshd config secure shell daemon configuration. There's a file called secure shell daemon configuration. Open this file. Go to insert mode. By default, the password authentication is no. The by default, can you see the password authentication is no? Change to yes. I enter insert mode. Change to yes. Escape to come out of the insert mode. Colon WQ to save and quit. As I have made some changes in the SSHD config file, you should restart the SSH service. Service SSH restart is a command to restart the secure shell service. This is the second step. First step, define the password for the specific user. Next, go to SSHD config file, make some changes. Next, this is the dev server. We have created a new machine called as slave machine. Now I want to test whether I am successfully able to connect it to slave machine from the dev server. I want to do that. So first I want to test the connection. Connect to the dev server. I have connected to which machine? dev server. Dev server is nothing but private IP address. Private IP address ending with 76. That's it. Connected to dev server. From the dev server, I want to test, am I successfully connecting from the dev server to slave machine? Right now in dev server. Connect to slave machine from the dev server. SSH Ubuntu is a user which I want to connect to the slave machine. What is slave machine IP address? Take the slave machine private IP. 145 is a slave machine private IP. This is the dev machine IP address ending with 76. I want to test from the dev server, am I moving to the slave machine? Are you sure you want to connect to this machine? Yes. What is the password for Ubuntu? We already have defined the password for the Ubuntu user. It's Ubuntu only. Now are you getting the IP address 145? From the IP address 141.76, yeah, move to 1.45. Prashant, did I successfully establish passwordless connection from one machine to other machine? Yes or no?
So you connected, but you entered the password for the first time.
You are able to connect, but you are able to connect with password. But the concept is we should able to connect without password. Dev server should talk to slave machine without password. Now you are able to connect. You are able to communicate, but with password. So what are the additional steps you need to do it? So your job is not yet completed. When you click on exit, you'll be back to 145 IP address to 76. That means you'll be back from the slave machine to master machine. You are again in the master machine. The point is you have to connect to slave machine without password. When you want to connect to slave machine without password, the additional step what you need to do is you need to generate keys in the master machine. You need to generate the keys. Once the keys are generated, you need to copy those keys into the slave machine. You should generate the keys, SSH keys, and then copy the keys into a slave machine. So when you do that, then dev server can connect to slave machine without password. So let's learn how can we do it. SSH-keygen is a command which helps you to generate the keys. Remember, where should we generate the keys? We should generate the keys in the master machine. 76 IP address is master machine. SSH-keygen. Just press enter, just press enter, just press enter. Yes, keys are generated. The random key image. Keys are generated. Next, what you need to do? Copy the keys to slave machine. SSH copy ID Ubuntu is a user at private IP address of the slave machine. This is the private IP address of the slave machine. This command helps you to copy the keys to the slave machine. What's the password for the Ubuntu? UBUNTU. Number of keys added is 1. We have successfully copied the keys to the slave machine. As we have successfully copied the keys to the slave machine, now let us test it. Are we able to communicate to the slave machine from the dev server without password? Let's try. What is the slave machine IP address? This is the master machine IP address. used from the master machine, I am communicating to slave machine. Am I getting 145? Prashant, now is it prompting for password?
Oh.
No. Then it will not prompt for the password. When the keys are matching, then secure shell concept will not prompt for the password. So they are now connected to each other without password. So we have successfully established passwordless connection between the master machine and slave machine. Any questions? No.
Sunil, is this IP based or how does that work? If tomorrow the IP gets changed, it will work or it will not
It
connect?
will work. It will work, not a problem. Private IPs will not change. Okay.
Okay.
So
Okay.
this is the easy to mention, right? What we are using is a private IP. Private IP is provided by AWS. So, and public IPs are provided by internet service providers. Okay. So this may
Okay.
change, but private IPs are fixed. So you will not have any connection issues. Okay. Right.
Okay.
Sunil, one small question.
Yes.
Even we can copy these keys in like test or production system also.
You can do
I mean,
that.
can okay. But
No,
what
you
we
can
will do by
do
connect?
this between any two Linux machines.
Okay. Okay. But
You
what
can
are the
do
functions we
this.
are going to do after that?
You can do this. We have established passwordless connections between two machines. Any
Okay.
machines you can do it. You can establish passwordless connection between dev to QA, dev to prod. In fact, the pipeline, when we are in the incoming classes, we discuss about the pipeline jobs. The pipeline job, the prerequisite is that dev server should communicate to QA and prod without password. That means you have to do this. Okay, so
Okay.
and this is required for master slave configuration. Okay, Akin?
I mean, this is to take information from one machine to other machine only.
Exactly. Smooth communication between two machines.
Okay.
Hello, Sunil.
Yes, sir.
Uh, if we have created a Windows machine, so same step we have to follow.
No, different. Completely
Different steps.
Yeah. But
So
practically,
where can
you will never run the machines on Windows. Servers will be always on Linux. Okay.
always Linux machine?
Always Linux, 100%. Always servers will be on Linux. Isn't it? Look at any project where the servers will be running on which operating server Linux. In case if the clients are using Windows Server 2003 or something like that, the concept will be completely different. Even I'm not sure how to
Yeah,
present it.
because in when we have hardware, so
Okay.
mostly we have Windows servers.
The Windows Server concept will be different. Okay. I'm not sure.
Okay, thank you.
Next.
So your laptop battery is running low.
Oh my God. 1 minute. 1 minute, please. Okay, thank you. So as we are now done the second step, master slave configuration, establishing passwordless connections. Okay. Now, next. When you install Jenkins in the dev server, by default, when you install the Jenkins tool, by default, there will be a file that is called as slave.jar file. Whenever you install Jenkins on any machine, there will be one file called as slave.jar file. Where that slave.jar file will be available, the slave.jar file will be available on the machine where Jenkins is installed. That slave.jar file, you need to copy it into the slave machine. That slave.jar file should be copied into the slave machine. Then the master machine will identify, okay, this is my slave machine. So that identification purpose, you should copy the slave.jar file from the dev server to slave machine. Where is this slave.jar file available? Right now I'm pointing to 145, exit to go back to dev server. Right now I'm pointing to dev server. Okay. Now slave.jar file will be available in a directory called jnlp jars in the directory slave.jar file. So for that, first connect to slave machine. Yes, I have connected to slave machine. Now copy it, right? Yes, copy. Connected to slave machine. How can you download the slave.jar file? Right now I'm pointing to which machine? Slave machine. How can I download the slave.jar file from dev server? By using a command called wget. By using the command called wget. Look at the command. Download the slave.jar file by using wget. From which machine you need to download? From the master machine. Take the master machine private IP. We know Jenkins runs on 8080. There's a directory called jnlp jars. In that there's a file called slave.jar file. This wget command where I should execute. Where I should execute this wget command in the slave machine. I should execute.
Machine.
And when you are running this command, make sure the Jenkins in the background should be fully up and running. If Jenkins is not fully up and running, you will not get the slave.jar file. Jenkins should be in running state. Jenkins is perfectly running. Yes, so it's active. Yes. Slave.jar file is downloaded. ls. Can you see the slave.jar file? Yes. So you should download the slave.jar file into the slave machine. That's also done. We need to change the permissions. The slave.jar file owner should have execute permission. Change mode, we already know it. Owner is not having execute permission. I want owner to have an execute permission. Owner is having execute permission. You need to change the permission for the particular file. Next. Create an empty folder in the slave machine. I create a folder in the slave machine. Folder is nothing but directory. Any directory name can be anything. I'm creating a folder with the name workspace. Okay. Workspace is created. I want to enter into that particular directory. pwd print working directory. This is the location where the directory has been created /home/ubuntu. Workspace is the new directory which I have created. Copy this, just copy the path of this particular folder which we have created in the slave machine for our reference. Yes, this is the path. That's it. This is from this is the steps we need to follow from the OS point of view. Next, we need to do a few more changes from the Jenkins point of view. Okay, so what we have done, we have established master slave connection. We have generated the keys, copied the keys. We have downloaded the slave.jar file. Next, you need to do some changes in the Jenkins. We need to create a node in Jenkins. We need to create a new node in Jenkins. How to create a new node in Jenkins? Manage Jenkins. manage nodes and clouds. Go to manage nodes. By default, Jenkins will have only one node called as master. By default, Jenkins will have only one node called as master node. So what you need to do, you need to create a new node. You need to create a new node. You can see an option of creating a new node. Name of the node can be anything. It can be your name also. I write it as my slave. Select this permanent agent. Remote root directory. Root directory which is there in the remote machine. At Jenkins, this is the remote machine. We already have created a directory in the remote machine. That's the reason we have taken a note of the path of the remote root directory. Label the node. Name of the node is different. Label of the node is different. Node is different. Label is also something like an alternate name, okay, which will be displayed. So for our understanding, the name of the label, I write it as slave. As it is a slave, I write it as slave. Label is ending with lab, just for our understanding. A launch method, how should I launch the slave machine? By executing a command on the master, this option. Launch command. Do you remember how did we launch Jenkins? Java-jar jenkins.var. Is it in the same way? How do we launch the slave machine? Java-jar slave.jar. What is the file we have downloaded? Slave.jar. Java-jar slave.jar. Java-jar slave.jar is a command that should execute, and where it should execute, on which IP address slave.jar file is available, you should point out. Slave.jar file is available in this specific IP address. Where IP address? The slave machine IP address. Take a note of the slave machine IP address. SSH Ubuntu is a user present in the slave machine, and this is the command which will help us to launch the slave machine. That's it. Name of the node my slave, name of the label slave underscore lab. That's it. Save. New node has been created. Previously there was only one node. Now I have created new node. The new node is having this into mark. When you click on refresh, sometimes it will take some time, maximum 1 minute, less than 1 minute, it should get activated. Maximum, sometimes it will take some time to get activate the node. The close mark is removed. If it is taking more than 1 minute, that means there's some problem in your setup. You have done somewhere mistake. Okay. I have created a new node in Jenkins. Fine. Now, that's it. Master slave configuration is done. Go to Jenkins. We have two jobs, right? One is test job, the other one is dev job. What this job is doing, I think it's an empty job. Let's write this simple echo statement. I want to run this job. Success. Okay. As I told you, why did we create master slave configuration, so that as of now by default every job runs on the master machine. To reduce the load, what you can do at the job level, we can restrict. Okay, this particular job should run on the slave machine, not on the master machine. At the job level, we need to do restrictions. Restrict so that the job runs on the slave machine. By default, every job runs on the master machine. So you can restrict. Sometimes we will get the information from the development team, testing team that okay, they say that okay, this job is very time-consuming job. It needs a lot of RAM. So they'll provide this information. So immediately what we will do, okay, this job, let's put it on slave. So this particular test one job, I want to restrict so that it runs on the slave machine. Let's first let's
Sunil,
1 minute. Add build step, execute shell. This is the job, but I want this job to run on the slave machine. Yes, your question?
can we have more than one slave?
Yes, definitely yes. We will do that. Yeah, it's possible. Let's just complete that part. So this job, I want to run it on the slave machine. So select this job, go to configure. Restrict where this project can be run. Select this checkbox. Label. Do you remember the label we have given for the slave machine? Slave underscore LAB. Label is referring to where? Node. Node is referring to the slave machine. Apply. That's it. So you're restricting. So at the job level, we do restrictions. Go back to dashboard. Scroll down. Have you observed here? Previously, we used to have only one node called as master. Now you can see master node and slave node. So when you run this job, as it is small job, you may not see the difference. It's running the job in which machine? It's not running. This my job is running on the slave machine. That's it. Click on refresh. Successfully completed. Where this job is running on the slave machine, so it is taking the hardware resources of the slave machine. Not only that, here also you can see when you see console output, building remotely on my slave. What is my slave? My slave is name of the node. This is the label, and the corresponding spaces, the related log files. All this will be stored in the remote directory workspace which we have created /home/ubuntu/workspace. Got it? Yes. Got it?
Yes.
So you are running the job not on the master machine. You are running the job on the slave machine. It's a 3-step process. Very simple. Establish passwordless connection between the master machine and slave machine. For that, all this generate the keys, copy the keys, define the password for the Ubuntu user. Download the slave.jar file. Create a new node in Jenkins. That's it. Then restrict the jobs. How do you restrict the jobs? We restrict the job at the job level. We define a so and so job. We run it on the slave machine. Okay. Now tell me, can one master? Yes, Akhil.
Yes, Sunil. Previously, like we automatically, run the test job,
Jobs.
right? Like from DevOps, development, dev server to dev job to test job. So now, like, if can we do this automatically because those two are in another machine, right? Like
I don't understand.
continuous
No. Tell
continuous
me.
in work, like previously we have done
in
one
CI/CD stages, we have created 2 jobs: development job and testing job.
test job.
Development job is doing 3 stages. After 3 stages, development job is calling the testing job. Testing job is
Correct.
doing 2 stages. Yes. Now tell me.
Yes. Now, like this is running in slave machine, right? In the test job.
Test job, you want to restrict it to run it on the slave machine, isn't it?
Like can it
Possible.
be possible? Like
Possible.
possible.
No, yeah, it's possible.
Okay.
Okay. But in what
Okay.
scenarios? How do we filter the jobs? That means how do you restrict the jobs? Okay.
Okay.
Basing on the team. So development job, testing job is both together performing CI/CD sales for one particular client. It's not recommended to break that. You have many other jobs. Okay.
Okay.
Many other
And
jobs, very different projects. So do that.
okay. And slave missions, like for example, for slave mission, there will not be any Jenkins, right? Only the master machines Jenkins will use,
Yes.
right?
I will not install Jenkins on the slave machine. Never.
Okay. I mean, only through this link only
Jenkins.
it will know like
That's it.
Jenkins. Okay.
You don't need to
Okay.
install any other software in the slave machine. Only
Okay.
Java is required. That we already done it. Huh?
Okay.
Now, Akhil, tell me, someone has asked me, can one master machine have 2 slave machines?
Yeah. Yes.
How to do it? Tell me.
We have to copy this.
First, to create one more EC2 machine.
Yeah.
Next.
Just a sec. Then we have to Java. We have to install the Java on.
Next slave machine. Next.
Next, we have to copy the keys from master server to slave machine.
You should establish passwordless connection between the master and slave. Next.
Yeah. Hello. So here again we have to do the same, like keys.
Next.
Copy the keys to slave machine. We have to get the files. From JNLP jar.
Slave.jar file. Say slave.jar
Yeah.
file. Download the slave.jar file in second machine also.
Okay.
Create remote directory. Some workspace or whatever it is. Next.
Okay.
That's it.
No, Sunil, but the thing is like steps are confusing for me, right?
Create one more node.
Okay.
What a kill you should be very sharp. You are one of the most intelligent participants in our batch. You should be
Yeah,
sharp.
Sunil, because today is his birthday, so little excitement.
Akhil, happy birthday.
Thank you, Sunil.
So your mood is not in the class now. Your mood is
No,
all about.
not like that. Like was slept late today, so that is the reason.
Okay, 12 o'clock phone calls, all those hangama you have it.
Yeah.
So when is the party for our batch?
Sorry.
When is the party for our batch?
When I am coming back to Hyderabad, for sure. A special party for you also.
Not for me, for the complete batch.
In that, especially for you.
You're right now not in Hyderabad?
No, in hometown.
Okay, fine. Clear? So one master can have multiple slave machines. It is possible, and the same steps we should repeat it. Create one more node. That's it. Link it. It's easy. Master slave configuration is easy. Master slave configuration is important. Okay. So now you know. Need. What is the reason? Why should we do it? Steps to establish master slave configuration. Jenkins, that's it. Most important is passwordless connection should be established. That's it. Very simple, guarantee question. Easy. Okay. So this is what. Any questions, Vishal?
No, Sunil. I think that's all good. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes,
Vikas.
Sunil. Yeah, I want to understand what's the concept of this nodes. What's a in a layman term or in a general understanding, how do we learn the
No,
nodes?
no. Job needs a node. Job needs a node to run. Okay.
Okay.
Node refers to the hardware.
Okay.
Okay. So by default, Jenkins will be installed in one machine, right? That is called as Jenkins machine or a dev server. So by
Yeah.
default, you'll have one node. Okay. Job will communicate from nodes point of view. So every EC2 machine, if you want to run it on different EC2 machine, every EC2 machine there should be one node, 1:1 ratio between one EC2 machine and one node. Okay. So node identifies. Okay, the EC2 machine point of view. Okay. Because
Is it like kind of gateway to machines? I mean,
no, it's not a gateway. By default, if you see when you run the job needs a node to run it. From our point of view, because job needs a hardware to run it, isn't it? Job
right.
needs
Yep.
CPU, job needs RAM. So from
Yeah.
our point of view, it is hardware. From
Mm-hmm.
Jenkins point of view, it needs a node. Node is nothing but a machine. From
Okay.
Jenkins point of view, node is a machine. Look at the node graphical representation also. It's like a machine only, isn't it? Look at this.
Yeah.
Manage Jenkins. Manage node.
Right.
See,
Right.
node is what?
Machine.
See
Yep.
how it's machine. So from Jenkins point of view, node is nothing but a hardware. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you. And so in between, you said we always have the Linux machine. We don't, most companies do not use the Windows.
Majority servers will be online.
Yeah, when one time I was doing the Google, it says about the Linux is more available. The comparatively Linux is more secure, more reliable. That's the only reason, or are there any other reason?
That's one of the reasons. You are right. In fact, Windows is also in security. There's no compromise, but many servers runs on Linux. Mainly more security. So you'll have less attack on virus on Linux machines than Windows machines. Okay.
And
so
how
generally,
open source as well?
servers are Linux. Client machines are Windows. Client machines are nothing but end users, which we are working
Yeah.
on.
Yeah.
Always work on Windows machines, isn't it? So always servers refers to Linux operation majority of the time.
And how often we need to restart the Linux machine? Because Windows, if I don't start my system for 7 days, it start giving me the performance issue. How often those Linux servers needs to be? In general, I'm just talking in general. Do we need to
We will
restart?
never restart. We will never restart.
Okay.
There is no downtime for servers, whether it is development, QA, production, especially in this automation field. There's no downtime. Okay.
Thanks, Sunil.
So it doesn't need a downtime at all. Okay.
Thanks.
Even Windows also, specifically when you're dealing with client machines like Windows 10, Windows 7, sometimes it will prompt you to restart to fix some drivers issues or to fix some updates, isn't it? Because we restart our laptops. That's from the client point of view. In Windows Server 2003 also, 2008 also, no, there's no concept of restart. Okay, so everything is online. Okay.
Okay. Thank you, Sunil.
Restart comes into picture for the client operating system, not the server-based operating systems.
Okay.
Yes, Ashok.
Yes, if we have multiple jobs, like it's around 30 jobs. So for every
You
job,
have
we need to around 30 jobs in
30
Jenkins.
jobs. Okay.
So for every job, we need to configure like which job we need to run in Node and all. We need to
You need to know it. You need to know which job is taking more hard. What is the reason for any downtime? Sometimes Jenkins will respond slowly. From the EC2 machine point of view, get the use monitoring tool CloudWatch to know the CPU utilization of the machine in which Jenkins is installed. Know the RAM utilization. If it is more than 70%, 80%, it's always good. You need to take a proactive step to create a master slave configuration and then restrict the job so that it runs on the slave machine. There will be a few independent jobs, so all the jobs, independent jobs, move it on the slave machine, so it doesn't make any difference. So now using the CloudWatch, get the monitor the Jenkins server, know the CPU utilization, RAM utilization. If everything is okay, fine. If you have more, then the number of jobs are which are running more, then you need to do this proactive step of establishing master slave configuration in Jenkins. So you have learned now using CloudWatch, we can know the metrics, isn't it? Ashok, AWS.
Yeah.
So using that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like here, any auto balance configuration will come.
Auto
balancing, like for the high availability
no,
windows.
no. Okay. So thank you
One
all.
more
Have a
thing,
please
so
practice this. Yes.
Sir, there is a opening for release manager that I've received.
I have seen your message. Okay, forwarded. Okay, I have forwarded. Okay. It's not easy to get.
Yeah, and the package is also quite good. Heard like in around 25 lakhs.
Yeah.
And it's in Mumbai.
Yes. Okay. Thank you all. See you tomorrow.
Yeah.
Tomorrow's concept
Thank
is
you.
scripted pipeline. Very important. Thank you. Thank you, Prashant. Bye.
Hello.
Ashok. Yes.
Yeah, one more thing, like yesterday we configured rules, that roles and groups in Jenkins.
Yes.
So at that time we given pattern. So the pattern is like case sensitive.
Pattern is not
like,
case sensitive. No.
Like what I observed, like I given the job name like development, it's a capital D. I am unable to see under the developer role. Suppose if I give normal development, then it will come. That's
Okay, I have never tried it. Okay, probably I think so. Say sensitive, I'm not sure. Okay. Ashok? Okay. Okay. Yeah. Thank you all. Happy birthday, Akhil. Have a nice time. See you tomorrow. Bye bye.
Yeah. Thank you. Sir.
Bye.